Big trucks always go by as soon as I hit record. It's just the way it goes. Hi. It's been a while. Thanks for coming back and tuning in. When last we met, we were talking about stories, fiction and nonfiction, how music and other nonverbal expressions might fit into these paradigms, or not. It was a fun discussion on a borderline absurd topic, and I was loving it. One thing I've been realizing about stories in the last couple of weeks is they arrive on their own, whether you're telling them or not. The story of Hurricane Helene will be part of Make Noise's story from now on. It's a huge story, completely unavoidable for us and everyone else in this entire region. And it spawned a million smaller stories, many of which we've been telling each other, many of which we're running over and over again in our minds, and some of which will probably be forgotten. I'm very grateful to be able to report that all of us who work at Make Noise made it safely through the storm. Our families are safe, and none of us lost our homes, which makes us some of the lucky ones here. We closed shop for a little over a week while all the utilities and supply lines were being restored. In that time, we individually focused on survival and community building. It will probably be a long time before our region recovers from this event, and I placed some links to helping organizations in the video description. I was originally planning to do a video about the Fluxus Art movement, which would have launched a week or two ago. In the days leading up to the storm, we got a lot of rain. One night, I was sitting in my basement watching a documentary on George Machunas, sort of the unofficial founder of the Fluxus movement, with one eye on the screen and one eye on my slowly flooding garage, running back and forth between the TV and the shop vac. I didn't finish the documentary because I eventually had to give the utility room and garage my full attention. My wife Lydia and I ended up spending about 34 straight hours vacuuming and pumping, trying to keep the basement from flooding. And we gave up in exhaustion at 5 a.m. about 4 hours before the hurricane actually hit us. In the end, we probably didn't make any difference to the amount of flooding that we had. I mainly mention this because in the documentary, I couldn't help noticing that since hardly anybody was able or willing to give a comprehensive definition of Fluxus itself, the documentary makers instead utilized dictionary definitions of flux, such as, for example, a continued flow or flood, a continued moving or passing by as a stream, the rate of transfer of fluid, particles, or energy across a given surface. This all started to feel a little too close to home as I fought the continued flow of water across our floor and into our belongings. And of course, we didn't really know that we were also hours away from 40 trillion additional gallons of water being violently dumped across our entire region. If I could attempt my own incompletely researched encapsulation of the Fluxus art movement, it would be a desire to break down the boundaries between art and life. Art for the people, as somebody said. My research into this art was kind of rudely interrupted by a major life event. I still plan to make that video a reality. So please, if you've been watching this channel so far, don't go anywhere. One of the things we're going to do is attempt to carry out in video form some of the impossible actions described in Fluxus text scores by Yoko Ono and others. Here's a little preview. At the time I'm filming this, we've been 14 days without running water. Yes, we went from way too much water to not enough almost immediately. I've said the word water more times in the last 2 weeks than probably the rest of my life combined. However, we have been able to keep a supply coming in to Make Noise HQ, and so our production line is running. We're still planning to ship Brusha very soon, so stay tuned for that. Let's make a patch.